Hello, this is Patrick.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, uh, you are tuning in to another installment of Where's My Damn Podcast? Yes, I am your host, Elvin Maglinte. Um, yep. And I got a very special guest on the line right now. He is the owner of Alameda Comedy Club. Um, the man himself, Mr. Patrick Ford. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Elvin. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
I have nothing. I have
Um,
nothing else to do since we're on shutdown.
I know I was gonna hype you up too. It's like very, very busy, busy man.
Well,
But
I
now,
I am busy. I actually have multiple. I actually have multiple jobs in addition to running the comedy club. I also teach part time. I teach full stack web development, and I'm
Mhm.
part of a tech startup right now that's building their minimal viable product and getting ready to get financing, hopefully in the first quarter of next year. So I've got three jobs right now, so keeping busy.
Yes, there you go, there you go. That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. Um, so let's get into this, man. I've done a little bit of research on you, my brother. And so yeah, like break down your history as far as because for those that don't know, Patrick, I believe he's done comedy. Are you still involved in comedy
Yeah,
or what? Yeah.
I actually started as a performer rather late. I started doing comedy in LA in 2007.
Hmm.
I had been a lifelong fan of comedy. I've been going to comedy clubs since I was 18 years old, and
Yeah.
I moved to San Francisco in the 1980s when the original Cobb's Comedy Club was down on Chestnut Street, and I just lived about 4 blocks away on Chestnut, and I was there probably 3 4 nights a week, and I would go there. I would see it as the regulars there, the people who were just sort of working out during the
Yeah.
day, included people like Paula Poundstone, Ellen DeGeneres, Bob Saget, Rob Schneider, Bobcat
Wow.
Goldthwait, all of those greats, and a bunch of others that you've never heard of. And we'd
Right.
occasionally see big names. So Robin Williams would drop in on occasion. Jerry Seinfeld did a drop in one
Right.
night when I
Right.
was there. So I've always been just a huge, huge fan. And then around 2007, I decided to take the plunge myself, and I actually took a comedy workshop to get myself started, and then started working out. I think I did my first sneaky set at the open mic at the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood, but
Hmm.
the actual debut set that I did for the workshop was actually at the Hollywood Improv, one of the best stages in the world. So I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got up on a Sunday night in a full house, 250 people, did my 5 minutes, and it went well. And as I walked off stage, a comedian who did a book show, back in LA, we called them the Bringers
Hmm.
Comedy Store. And he said, "Hey, Pat, I really liked your set. Would you like to perform at the Comedy Store?" And I'm like, "Oh, of course I would. Who wouldn't want to perform at the Comedy Store? The most famous comedy club in the world." So I
Right.
signed up for that show, and 3 weeks later, I was on the stage of the comedy show. So then I hit the ground running. I just started trying to take every booking I could get, and the funny part is my third booking. There was a show being done at the Long Beach Playhouse, which was a nice big theater. And I send
Hmm.
my tape in, and I get picked, and the guy says, "All right, Pat, we like your stuff. You want to come perform?" I said, "Great. How much time do I have?" And he says, 15 minutes. And I go, "Oh, God, I've only got like a 5 minute set and maybe 2 minutes of other jokes in my back pocket. That's about it." So I had to frantically start writing a longer 15-minute set. So that put a little pressure on me. Uh,
And
yeah,
for those people that don't know, 15 minutes, that's a long time
it's a
in the
big difference.
comedy world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone starts off with their tight five. You work your 5 minute
Yeah.
open mic set, then maybe you pad it a little bit, you get it up to 8 or 9 minutes, maybe 10. But it's sort of a different world when you jump from 8-minute sets to 15-minute sets. You have to keep, you can't just pound them with one joke after. You need more of a flow, and then of course it goes up from
Yeah.
there to half-hour sets, hour-long sets, and headliner sets to do that. But yeah, that was it. So I kind of, and I went very quickly. I at that point I just started, taking every show I could get. I mean, not only did I get to do the really great clubs in LA, but I did every bar and bowling alley from Carlsbad to Oxnard, up and down the valley, doing, little sets in bars and open mics wherever I could find them. And, but I landed my first steady gig about 6 months in. I was performing at the Haha Cafe in North Hollywood, and they asked me to be the host of the Tuesday night show, which is obviously their lesser show. I mean, it's not the weekend, but having to host a show every week for a year really taught me a lot about comedy. I had to help book the comics. I had to pace the show. So because a lot of these were bringers who weren't very funny. I had at the time Chris D'Elia, who has since fallen into disrepute because of rumors, was a regular. He was a beginner at the same time as me, and he would show up every Tuesday, hoping to get stage time. And he was just a guaranteed funny guy. He was great. So I used to talk to Jack, the owner. I said, "Listen, I know Chris doesn't bring anyone with him, but if I get 2 bad comics in a row, can I put Chris up just to bring the crowd back?" And he said yes. So I used to give Chris D'Elia spots every Tuesday. And we had some famous drop-ins. Damon Wayans did a drop-in there. And then we'd also have people like Adam Ray and Bobby Lee and Darren Carter. A lot of great LA comedians, would also come in and close the show for Tuesday night. So that was really, I would say, my training ground, spending that year just working steadily. And then I started booking my own shows. I did a show for 3 years called Comediaplex at the West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica, which was a multimedia show. We always had videos and a musical act, and we would Skype in. This is before Zoom time. Like, this is like 10, 12 years ago.
Right.
And we would have a comedian appearing via Skype from New York or even Ireland one morning. He was doing a set from 4 o'clock in the morning at his kitchen table. And
you're a trendsetter, Patrick, with the Skype thing.
We were a little ahead of our time. A little ahead of our time on that one. But I loved it. And I 1 year in, I got picked to be on Last Comic Standing. So that was my first television time.
Yeah, you know what? I saw that, and I was going to ask you about that. What was that like? That whole experience? There?
At the time, you see, telling a little bit of dirty laundry about the show. The people who actually get passed on the first round of the show have already been decided through casting agents and pre-auditions and things like that. I was one of the people picked from the street, and I had an interesting story because I was a software executive turned comedian. I had just at the time left a position as a director of video game products at Yahoo. And I spent a lot of my career as a vice president or a director or even a CEO of small companies. So when they said, "Oh, this guy's interesting," he quit his job as an executive to be a comedian, which I didn't really quit. I was just in between. But I got my nice 2-minute profile piece done. Then I got on stage and I did my jokes, and I got you're really likable, but we're gonna pass reluctantly. So I got the soft letdown, which was fine with me. I mean, I made it to the stage. I got my TV time. I got my TV credit. And to be honest, I wasn't ready to compete at that level after only 1 year in comedy. You know how long it takes. In fact, I had been doing comedy for about 3 years, and I was having lunch with another comedian friend, and she was friends with Bobby Lee, who's a regular at the Comedy Store. So she introduced me and goes, "Hey, Pat, I like it. Bobby, I want you to meet my friend Patrick. He's a comedian too." And Bobby says, "How long have you been doing stand-up?" I said, 3 years. He said, 2 more before you're funny, right? That was his rule. You had to be doing stand-up for 5 years before you were funny. And he wasn't wrong. I don't think he was wrong. That's probably a pretty good rule of thumb. It takes a while for people to really, find their voice and, and get set.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you originally from the Bay Area or
No.
LA? Which one?
I actually was born and raised in New York. I born and raised on Long Island. Then I went to school upstate New York. I was just about 40 minutes out of New York City, and then I went to undergraduate school at Albany, upstate New York, And then I got a doctoral fellowship at Stanford, and that brought me west. And I decided to go west. And I was originally supposed to be a college professor. That was my idea, that I had I would go to Stanford, get my PhD, and be a college professor. But after being there for a year, I got some contract work developing some interactive video systems for Sony Corporation, and that was more interesting than school.
Yeah.
So I took a leave of absence and formed a startup in San Francisco that I ran for about 6 years, and that kept me here. Then I spent both of my career as a software executive and engineer. I went from there to Microsoft and then into the games business and yada, yada, yada. And, and then when I was, in my 40s, I decided to, pursue my lifelong dream of doing stand-up. I've been, like I said, just a total comedy junkie, going to, every comedy show I could find during the years. And, I'm glad I took the plunge. Yeah.
Right. Backtracking a little bit, when I was reading up on you, I noticed the name, very familiar name, and you did mention a software engineer, Microsoft and everything. Bill Gates?
Yeah. I worked directly with Bill Gates on multiple projects. My main job during the years I was at Microsoft was the product manager for multimedia systems. So we, invented things like, the multimedia PCs that had CD-ROM drives and sound cards and video cards. I mean, believe me, this was not, PCs were not always like televisions. They usually just have a green screen. This was in the early 90s, and so my stuff was sort of the sexy show and tell of Microsoft. So whenever Bill would do, like, probably my most notorious story was Bill. It was the 10th anniversary of the IBM PC in 1991, and Bill Gates. All the TV stations wanted to interview Bill Gates. So the PR group asked me if I could prepare a little B-roll video of multimedia systems, and I did that. And it went over well with a bunch of the news companies. But Good Morning America said, we'd much prefer to have Bill live in front of a computer. Can you set that up? And I said, yes, but keep in mind, this is beta release software. It's likely to crash. We have to be very careful about the demo. It has to be very tightly scripted. And they said, no, we understand. So I fly from Seattle to New York City with a computer and an assistant. And Bill flies in from Paris. And we get to the hotel, and I call Bill up. I said, hi, Bill, this is Pat from Multimedia Systems. I'm here in my room. It's 11 o'clock at night. I said, I'm here with the segment producer from Good Morning America, and we're going over the demo. Do you want to come on down, and we'll show you how it works? And he said, oh, Pat, I'm really wiped out from my flight from Paris. You just set it up, and in the morning, just show me where to click. So I go, all right, I'll do it. So I get to the studio. Like 4:30 in the morning. I get everything plugged in. Bill comes in at 6 o'clock, and I say, okay, Bill, here's the thing. You've got 3 demos. There's a dictionary with a quote from JFK. You click the audio quote. There's a movie review of Star Wars, and you click and it plays a little video of the movie. And by the way, when I say video, I mean something about the size of a postage stamp playing at 12 frames a second. That, by the way, I had to get the personal permission of George Lucas to do that. So not only did I have to work with Bill Gates on that, I also had to get permission by George Lucas. So, a lot of high level going on.
Yeah.
So I go through the demo. I say, Bill, all you have to do is click on this icon, play, this one, play, this one, play. We're all set to go. So Bill goes in to get makeup on, and the show starts, and it's live in front of 22 million people. And Bill is on at 7:17. So at 7:15, they do the weather on the green screen. At 7:16, they cut to commercial. They pull camera 3 away from the green screen and roll it over the computer. And when they do that, they unplug the computer. It dies. Bill's sitting there. He goes, you can't do this. I have to give a demo in 60 seconds. I say, I can fix it. And all Bill says is, go. And he jumps out of the seat, and I jump into the seat, and I plug the computer in. And I'm watching the memory counter go by, and Bill's looking over one shoulder, and the producer's on the other shoulder. And they go, 30 seconds. And I'm still working on it, and they're working on it. They go, 15 seconds. I said, Bill, if I don't make it, just use the PC as a prop. And they go, 5, 4, 3. And on 2 seconds, I go running off camera. Bill jumps in the chair. It spins around. He grabs the desk and say, we're here today with Bill Gates of Microsoft Corporation. And sure enough, the demo works. We made it. And so when we're done, Bill comes off stage. He high-fives me. And I send an email back to our department saying, just in case anybody was wondering, Bill and I determined that it takes exactly 58 seconds to set up the demo from a cold boot. Yeah.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man,
I did a lot with Bill.
I,
I did a live show where a computer crashed and I had to crawl across the floor onto the stage and sit at his feet after rebooting it. And I set up the interview in his office between Tom Brokaw, from NBC News, and Bill Gates. And so I'm there. I'm in Bill's chair first. I'm sitting at Bill's desk setting up the demo. Before Bill gets there,
wow.
all of a sudden, Tom Brokaw, get a load of this. He's in Seattle. I don't know if you know the topography from Seattle to Redmond. It's about a 15-minute drive.
Mhm.
But he takes a helicopter from downtown Seattle and lands on the lawn in front of Microsoft. So he and his crew get off the helicopter, come into Bill Gates' office, and he sits in the interview chair, and I'm sitting in Bill's chair, and he just starts asking me questions. I understand Apple's doing this, and I understand this is competitive, and IBM wants this. And I'm saying, well, it's not really like that. It's more of a collaboration, yada, yada, yada. So then Bill comes in, cameras go on, and when you know it, Don Brokaw asks Bill the same 10 questions that he asked me. And I thought, well, that was pretty smart because, and he changed. He goes, well, I understand it's not really more competitive. It's more of a collaboration. And basically, he tested his interview on the nerd in the chair so that he wouldn't say anything wrong to Bill. And I thought, that's the sign of a professional interviewer. He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was those were good
It's all
years
about
to be at
preparation.
Microsoft. A lot of interesting things were happening, and like I said, got to work closely with Bill on probably, gosh, I'd say half a dozen of these things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's an awesome story. Like when I saw the name, I was like I said, when I was reading, doing my research, and I was like, oh wow, he actually worked with Bill
Yeah.
Gates. That's pretty
Well,
cool.
if you deeper research,
Um,
you'll probably also find
uh,
out that I worked with Tila Tequila, but
whoa, are you serious? Now that's a throwback
yeah,
right there.
right.
Oh man, well, that's another time
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
different show right there.
That's the one that's not on my
Um,
resume. Yeah.
um, okay, let's fast forward a little bit. So with all that said, I believe you ended up moving back to the Bay Area in
Yep,
2013.
that's
Correct
right.
me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
We had lived a lot of
Okay,
time here, and then in around 2004, my ex-wife and my two kids moved down to Southern California. So we decided to move down there to be closer to them
okay,
while they were still going through school. And then when the last one left for college, we said, "All right, let's go back to the Bay Area."
yeah. Um, and at that time, what were you still doing comedy,
Yeah, in fact,
doing
yeah, I did.
shows and stuff like?
I got hooked up with our good friends from Comedy Oakland, Samson Kolodkar.
Hmm.
He Before he ran the show that he's doing now over at Spice Monkey. He used to do it at I think it was the Washington Hotel in Oakland. So I started doing his show. I did little things like Milk Bar in San Francisco and Doc's Lab, and I did
Yeah,
have the opportunity to host a
yeah,
show at the San Jose Improv. Maybe 8 years, 6 years
yeah.
ago, I think that might have been now. And but I kind of slowed
Hmm.
down a little bit. I took on teaching. I decided to become a software engineering instructor. So I took on students in the evening. So I had less time to go chasing microphones
Hmm.
and more time, doing one-on-one teaching with students. But I've always, kept, I
Right,
kept my toe in the water and did a set here and there, and wrote a bit.
right.
But I've been thinking about the club idea for quite some time. In fact, I was involved in an effort while I was still in LA to open up a comedy club with another partner, and we had been discussing a
Hmm.
partnership with just some other large. I can't say the name because it's still a private deal, but a very well known web comedy
Yeah.
company, and we were thinking about doing a joint venture with them, and it didn't go through. But I did during that time prepare a very detailed business plan of what it would take to construct and operate a comedy club. So I had all that work ready for me when I decided to sort of dust it back off once we moved up to here, because we we've been
Yeah.
thinking about this for a while, and we said, all right, now's the time, and we pulled the plan back out, revised it, updated it, and found the property that we're at today.
Nice. Um, so, with planning and trying to open up a comedy club, like like what was the what prompted you to really wanted to do that? Like it, was it your lifelong dream, or was it you, or you just wanted to open a club, or what was it exactly?
Lack of proper retirement planning, I'd say most. I need a business that's gonna support me in my old age. No, that's partially true, I would say, but it was really something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm in partnership in this deal with my wife and my brother-in-law. My wife Lori is a restaurant general manager, and she has
Hmm.
specializing in opening of new restaurants. This is actually her 10th restaurant that she's
Yeah.
opened. It's the first one she's done for
Wow.
herself. All the others have been for other companies, but she's been the general manager of such, top restaurants as San Francisco's Boulevard and Farallon, very high dining, high style dining,
Hmm.
fantastic, Zagat #1 rated restaurants, top 10 restaurants in the city, places like that. And then, and I've been talking to her for years saying, you should open your own place rather than just doing it for everybody else. But she said, she goes, I don't want to, if I did, I wouldn't want to do any big high style place. I would just want to maybe run something small, maybe like a local bar. And I said, well, what's a comedy club but a bar with
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
stage? Let's combine our interests. I'll
Yeah.
run the club, you run the restaurant. And we initially looked at a smaller place that was only going to be like a bar with a little bit of cold food, and the deal didn't go through. And then we found the the place we had now, which used to be Scobie Sports Bar, that had, as you've seen it inside. Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but you've been there. There's a large
Yeah. Yeah.
kitchen, and a large showroom. So it's probably even bigger than she had wanted
Yeah.
to have. But so I talked her back into it. So then we found this property and then started building it out. Now, unfortunately, the timing, landed us right in the middle of COVID, which is, a big topic in and of itself.
Right. Yeah. No, it's congratulations on this development, the opening of the Alameda Comedy Club. I mean that's I mean like it's cool for me as a comedian
Hello?
to see that,
All right. Am I back?
and not only
Elvin, can you
you
hear
got
me?
me, you got me.
Hello there.
All right, we're back.
A phone call
Oh, it's
connection there.
It's okay. It's okay. So like I was saying, yeah, congratulations on the opening of the Alameda Comedy Club. That's amazing to like for me as a comedian, that's awesome to hear, um to see someone that not only it has done comedy and gave back to the community and open up a comedy club. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do want to be. I mean, we're more than just a performance venue with a restaurant. We really want to be a place that is very welcoming for all members of the comedy community. And as we run a pretty big open mic program. Where
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I take signups every Monday, and choose 12 comedians to perform on a Wednesday. And I do that in order to maintain social distancing. As you know, we do all of our shows currently outdoors on our outdoor showroom. We have 13 tables, all socially distanced. So each of the comedians gets their own table, and then they can bring their own pod of people, friends, family that they feel safe around, to,
right,
to fill their table, so that the open mic is not just an audience of comedians, but there's some civilians in the room as well to make it a little more laughter, a little warmer. And
right,
then we do all the full staging. We give them the same lights and sounds and music play on this that the pros get on the weekends, and we shoot all of it with our 3 camera recording system, and make those tapes available to the comics for low price is $10. They can take home a really nicely produced 3 camera shot video that they can use either just to I always encourage people to either audio record or tape their sets and listen to them afterwards and do some editing. But if you get a good set, like I did on my first time, I posted it on YouTube, and I was off and running and used it to book other gigs. So if
right.
someone's
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
bootstrap their career by taking a nice 5-minute video off of our stage, I'm thrilled by that. That's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah.
And
Did you
so
just
then we move comics
recently
up the ladder. We've got, and in fact, we've been oversubscribed. The open mic's now starting to get like 35 signups. So I ran 2 days of 12 open mics, and I even put a couple comics in the New Faces show. But from the open mic, we have a show called New Faces, where people that we've liked at the open mic that we thought showed promise, or people who submitted their material. I have rather an email address, booking at Alameda Comedy, where I tell comics to send me their bio, credits, headshot, and links to performance videos. And so far, I've received over 400 of those, only a fraction of which I've even reviewed. So if you've sent yours in, be patient. It's going to take a while for us to get through everyone. But we cherry pick from those people that we think, show some good promise, and we give them 7 minutes on the Wednesday night, 8 o'clock show.
Yeah.
And then the paid shows are the ones that run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we've actually moved some comics. I've had a couple of comics come in at the open mic or the New Faces show, and we've put them in on a Saturday guest spot. Because that's like the real test. I mean, if you can do a little thing at an open mic or a warm room of comedians, but the test is, can you hold your own, in a full house of, weekend customers, in between 2 or 3 other great, professional comedians.
Right.
That's the true test.
Yeah.
So we'll take someone to say, all right, we're going to give you 8 minutes on a Saturday night. You'll go up after the host before the feature, and good luck to you.
Yeah.
And and we've had some pretty good successes there. So, and then we have the Thursday night show. That's our all-star showcase. And that's where we do 15-minute sets. We get 5 comedians, all pros, doing 15-minute sets. And then the weekend formula is the classic headliner show. It's 3 comedians. Someone opens for 15, a middle for 30 minutes, and your headliner does a full 45-minute set. And for that, we're bringing in some touring comedians, focusing mostly on the West Coast right now because of COVID travel restrictions. We've had a number of comics drive up from LA. It's just a 5-hour drive. Eddie Brill did fly in from New York for our opening weekend, so we appreciated that.
Yeah.
And we'll start to see, I think, as as things improve, we'll start to bring in comedians from all over the country and even over the world, for that matter. Then on Sunday, we have a very, very popular show. We've been doing drag brunch. It's called Drag Yourself to Brunch. So we've got a drag show that has been selling out every single Sunday since we started. It's very, very popular. And then in the evenings on Sunday, we do an early show, 6 p.m., family comedy. And it's we open up the room to families with, kids, 13 and up, sometimes a little younger if they're well behaved and can handle it. But it's a clean show, no F-bombs, no serious adult content. And that's a nice way to introduce people to the community, and also give families a way to get a night out, where they don't have to worry about, finding babysitters for their teens, and they know where they're at. It's fun. It's been a good show. So we have, like I said, a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because when I first saw the beginnings of you building the club, and you would post stuff on Facebook and everything, and I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. Like I want to go here. I want to go there and try it out, and experience the whole the club. And so I've been to the couple of the open mics, and I mean I've been telling a lot of my comedian buddies out here in Stockton. It's like, you know what, you guys need to go check it out. It's like I even posted it, it's really top notch, man. Like your professionalism, it's through the roof. I mean, like I said, I had a pretty good experience out there, and it's been fun. Would like to definitely go back there in the future once things open back up. So no, I commend you on that, Patrick. That's it's awesome. I love it. And with the whole shutdown now, like I saw something on online about like a virtual setup. what's the process for that? Like, what's how is that going to work?
Yeah, we, as you know, we have a pretty cool video setup at the club where we have a 3 camera setup on the stage, straight on the stage, side shot, audience reaction shot, goes into a 3 channel mixer, stream those to YouTube live currently. As we
Hmm.
go forward this month, we'll probably, I'm looking at a number. I mean, everyone's been doing Zoom shows, since last spring, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the format, but it's all we have, to work
Hmm.
with right now. So I'm trying to find, which Zoom formats work best, and try to come up with a couple of plans for that, just to keep us going, give people a place to perform. We'll put
Right.
performers up on our show with a Venmo link, and give them a little bit of cash, and hopefully a little support. Um, but we're still right now with this week's focus is getting the restaurant up and running as an
Yeah.
independent
Yeah.
business. So we're launching take home and comedian delivery from our kitchen from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock Thursday through Saturday, and then drag brunch delivery. Our drag queens will bring a deluxe waffle platter brunch with mimosas to your house, and do a drag number on your patio, or on your sidewalk in front of your house.
Wow.
And our deliveries, our driver deliveries, will actually be done by a comedian who will tell you a joke when they drop off your food. So yeah, so
Nice.
that's so
Nice.
we're really busy with that this week. I think the virtual comedy events will probably do a virtual open mic, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, and then we'll be looking at probably doing our first showcase the Thursday after that. So stay tuned. We
Are
haven't.
you doing? Excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are you doing regarding the open mic? Are you doing the same process like how you did the live open mics, like sign ups on Monday
Yeah,
or that
yeah,
kind of
it'll be the
thing?
same. Right, we'll do the same formula. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but with virtualization, I'm not. I mean, the room was limited to 12 comics because I had 12 tables, but
Yeah.
we can do a longer open mic. Run it for 2 hours, and probably get 24 comics in if they want to stay for that long. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Definitely, it's a unique um situation with the Zoom. Like for me, as a blind comedian, like it's actually been beneficial
Yeah.
because um, I I actually get to work on material versus if if I wasn't doing Zoom, like because obviously live comedy is few far in between. So if I wasn't doing Zoom and there was hardly any open mics, then I probably wouldn't be working on a lot of material. Like the thing with Zoom is it's pretty crazy. Like a lot of people are really into it. Like a lot of them are legit shows that have one like almost practically like every day, and you pick and choose which one you want to go to. It like almost like a regular mic, and minus the traveling,
Right.
but a lot of people are really involved with it, and they get to practice their material. So it's it's 50-50 with certain folks. It's like
Yeah.
like
I
it's
mean, it's good to have some creative outlet. Obviously, we would
yeah.
all prefer to be in a nice, crowded comedy club where people are shoulder to shoulder laughing out loud. But it's going to be a while. We're
Yeah.
going to start off
Yeah.
with, like I said, our outdoor shows, distanced, and then we'll move to distanced indoor shows. And as time progresses, we'll get closer and closer. And hopefully, 2 years from now, we're right back to those, the way things were. We'll see. It's
Right.
gonna be a process. We just have to
Right.
adjust. That's
um
all. But
yeah.
comedy needs to live on. People need a laugh, and they need an outlet
Yeah.
during this time. And our customers have just been so grateful for the club. We're so happy about it. I mean, we've received, I think, now something like 19 or 20 in a row 5-star reviews on Yelp, and people are just saying
Nice.
they
Nice.
just really needed it, to after this horrible year of
Yeah.
COVID and Donald Trump and the election and everything else.
Yeah. Curious question. As far as like the inside, how many people can it hold?
Yeah. Well, when it's fully loaded, it can hold up to 160 people. Uh, but
Oh,
our
nice.
expectation is
Okay.
we won't open at that density anytime soon. We'll probably open the indoors at maybe as a 50 seat socially distanced club, and then
Hmm.
as things get safer, start moving tables closer together and adding more seats. But yeah,
Right,
it
right.
was the original plan was to have an indoor 150 seat club, and the
Yeah,
back patio where you've been performing was intended just to be
yeah,
a lounge, just a way for before and after show for people to just enjoy some food and drink. But now that we've
yeah.
been running the outdoor show with our outdoor stage, we may keep it going and have both an indoor and an outdoor showroom. So the outdoor showroom can hold up to 40, and the indoor showroom could hold up to 160. So there's a possibility if we may just keep going doing shows on both stages.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How you have it set up out there.
Yeah.
That's it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I
the
like
indoors are
it.
beautiful. You should see our indoor showroom is gorgeous. I have a beautiful
Yeah.
17-foot wide hardwood floor stage with uh, uh, beautiful crimson theatrical curtains that are on a motor that open up to reveal a 10-foot video screen. It's got
Wow.
all professional lighting and sound and a dedicated control booth, a green room for the comedians, a beautiful bar with red oak wainscoting all around the room, and a built-in, bar with beer taps and wine taps and full liquor and the full kitchen. And we added an ADA compliant bathroom and a wheelchair lift to get into the club. And we also have a permanent wheelchair ramp onto the stage. So not only
Wow.
is the club
Awesome. Awesome.
that we spent a fortune making it accessible for customers, but
Yeah.
also for performers as well. So that was part of
Yeah.
the we did a full top to bottom renovation of this building. And when we took over the club, it was a sports bar that had been closed for about 4 years, so it was in pretty rough shape. And we have all
Hmm.
new plumbing, all new electrical, obviously all the fixtures and everything else. An entirely new built top to bottom kitchen, um, water heaters, you name it, everything you can think of. And one of the things that happened to us because we got shut down during construction by COVID, we did have the opportunity to pivot a little. We added to the air conditioning system, the HVAC system, a new fresh air intake system that completely replaces the air in the showroom 4 times an hour. Because they were saying that one of the dangers of dining in a restaurant for two was rebreathing the same air as other people for 2 hours, which could even in a distributed air environment increase your virus load if someone was breathing out into the room. But by
Yeah.
having the
Yeah.
fresh air intake, we replace the air every 15 minutes. So that
Mm.
really helps reduce potential spread of disease. And that was, something because we were in the middle of construction, we said, oh, let's add that. And then, of course, we added the entire outdoor showroom. We built this, beautiful cedar wood wall around the outside with light sconces, and we wired it for radiant heating and the sound system and the lighting system and all of those things. So it took a we were it's a risk. I mean, opening any business is a risk. And when we
Right,
got shut
right.
down in May, or rather in March, we had to take a hard look at this and say, should we just stop and quit? Because at that point we were already deeply invested in the six figures, and the choices
Yeah.
were throw that money away and probably never start again, or double down, spend twice as much more money to finish the job with the hope that we power through the end of the pandemic. And that's where we're at today. So
Right.
we jokingly say we're going to sprint into the brick wall hoping to break through. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And we just sort of hit that brick wall in December. But, we said, what? The moment it happened, the moment they announced it, we said, okay, what do we do? And we said, well, we do have a restaurant. Let's keep serving food. People like our food.
Right.
Let's figure out some innovative ways to make it interesting. The drag drag queen brunch delivery. The drag queens who
Right.
perform every Sunday said we'd love to do it, so they're doing that. And I have about 3 comedians signed up for doing home deliveries as well as pickup at the club. So we'll see how it goes. We start tomorrow night. We also started selling gift certificates for Christmas, telling people they can buy tables of 2 or tables of 4.
Oh, Patrick, you there? Oh, hello.
That are available on our
Patrick,
website.
are you there?
So I don't know.
All right.
We'll keep it going. I mean, I don't know if we'll pay it. I don't know if we'll make enough money to cover the basic expenses. Our goal right now is to lose as little money as we can while we try to ride out the pandemic. That's the goal, because we're in this for the long haul. We signed a lease that gives us up to 15 years, and our expectation is that we're going to be here for a long time. And I told people this is going to be my last job. I'm going to be that old man in the back of the room saying, "You're not ready yet, kid. Come back next Thursday." So
a la Missy
exactly.
Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I hope everyone supports the club. The from the people that go there, from the obviously the comedians, but yeah, I think we need to rally around the comedy club, not only the comedy club, but you, Patrick, and your wife. That's an awesome thing that you guys are doing. And like I said, man, I've been raving about your club to my comedian buddies. I told them, like, hey, sign up for the open mics, and experience the comedy club, and let's get out there and
thanks. We really
support
appreciate it.
each other.
And that's the only way we're going to make it.
Yeah.
Is if we have the support of, like I said, both the customer community as well as the comedy community. That's because we're a neighborhood club. We're not like a lot of the downtown city clubs where they can rely on a steady influx of tourists to fill their room. If a tourist doesn't like a show, it doesn't matter. They're going to leave and they'll be gone, and next week there'll be a new tourist in that seat. But for our club, in Alameda, we have to rely on repeat business. If anyone has a bad experience at our club, it may be the last time they ever come. And we want people to come again and tell their friends to come. So we work really hard to make sure that we provide just a great all around experience. Well produced shows that start on time, that have well curated performances, and a comedy development program to help bring in new talent, and obviously great food and drink. So just a lot of it's a lot of work and a lot of attention to detail, but it's it's fun.
I love the brisket sliders. So if anyone is attending, get the brisket sliders. That's my favorite.
That's probably our number one menu item right now.
That's good stuff.
And the fried
right
chicken sliders, my second favorite.
Yeah. I gotta try that next time. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna wrap it up in a little bit here. Is there anything that you want to plug, or like people can like contact you regarding the comedy club?
Sure. I think let me remind everyone, if you're a comedian out there and you want to be considered, send an email to booking@alamedacomedy.com, and make sure you include your bio, credits if you have them, a headshot, and great things about the club. So we've got a beautiful 3-camera video set up that gives you a very professionally produced 5-minute set for only $10. I mean, really, it's just the cost of our editing time to make that happen. And we'll drop that in a Dropbox for you, and then you can share it with your friends or use it just to, like I said, just to get better. And that was that one topic I didn't really explore enough. Is I want to encourage. One of the things I really don't like is when a comic comes in and I see their 7 minutes, like, oh, that was pretty interesting. And then I go back and I look at their video history and I see 3 years ago the same 7 minutes of comedy I'm like, God, you're not writing enough. You know, get out there and write, test a new material all the time, and edit, edit, edit. You know, it's like, you know, when you finally find that good punchline that gets the joke, shorten the
Yeah.
setup for it. Get rid of all the fluff, and then and who cares if it took a 45-second bit down to 15 seconds? You got the best 15 seconds. Then fill those other 30
Yeah.
minutes, those other 30 seconds with new material that you write. Just keep writing, keep trying new things. Don't be afraid to bomb every once in a while. You know, if you don't take risks,
Right.
you're never going to get better.
Cut out the fat.
Cut out the fat. Yep,
Yeah,
that's it.
as I
Yep.
hear. Um, well, Patrick, I appreciate you being on the podcast, man. It's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you when I was out there and everything, and this has been fun, and hopefully maybe I can get on one of the virtual
Yeah.
shows, but if not, hopefully once we open up again, I'll be out
Yeah.
there. You know.
Well, Elvin, I got to tell you, you are the poster child to my open mic. I have a really good photograph of you and me with the projector on the back wall of the open mic lineup, and I've been using that picture now for all of our open
Yeah.
mic sign up events. So
Oh, I appreciate
yeah,
that, man. That's awesome.
you represent all the open mic comics. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Patrick, man, have a good one, buddy. Thank you once again. Thank you for being on the
All
show.
right, and we'll see you soon at the club. Right. You take
All
care,
right.
Elvin.
Talk to you
All right.
soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.